Family. Hey y'all, we just up in this Tupac trial. It's been 30 years and nobody has been held accountable for the death of Tupac Shakur. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I think a lot of us knew or have known for years some of the people who was responsible surrounding his death, but this is the first time that somebody would be held solely accountable. Now listen, a lot of the people from back in the day is now gone. You dig? So and there's a lot of witnesses testimony, you know what I'm saying, that really is not, I can't say solidified because it's been 30 years. This dude right here, Keefe D, we know that is a big liar, but I do believe there's a lot of truth in what he's saying this night. I think there's a lot of things that add up, and when you add up the people that, you know what I'm saying, or whatever that's going to be mentioned in this trial, it makes a lot of sense to me. Now you have to been following a lot of this stuff to understand some of the people that's going to be called in this. One of the names that stood out to me was Zip. You know what I mean? And I think that for a fact, Zip is the one that connects, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, Sean Puffy Combs to this whole Tupac Shakur thing. Now, I do feel like Suge and Diddy had something to do with Pac's and Notorious B.I.G. murders. That's just me. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of shit. You feel what I mean? And when you look at a lot of the evidence, they would have capitalized more off them dead if they were planning to leave the labels than on them being alive. And I'm just being honest. But look, we finna get into the second half of this trial. We're gonna do one more little segment, and then I'm gonna dip out and then come back for Tootie Uncensored in a little bit. All right. But let's get into it. Let's get into it.
All right. He goes off and stuff. This is the whole Shakur man. Thank you. Hey, 30 years later, we'll figure out the facts. Don't worry. We'll get back. As long as they're facts.
What are really facts, please?
What are really facts?
Family, Jerry?
Nigga, I ain't even gonna lie. Nigga, I thought that was Snoop at first. I thought that was Snoop at first. That's Scoop right there. Yo, nigga, when I first looked up, I was like, what the fuck?
Is the party stipulated to the presence of the jury?
Yes, Sean. Yes, Sean.
You may be seated. All right, state, you may call your first witness.
Gary Dale.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
First name is Gary, Garry. Last name is Dale, Dale.
Thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Duke, you may proceed.
That nigga name is Gurr.
Sir, back in September of 1996, how were you employed?
I was working for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department at that time.
And how long did you wind up working for Metro?
25 years total.
September 7th of 1996, what was your assignment?
I was assigned to a bike team on bicycles on the strip, Las Vegas Strip area.
Is the uniform similar to the ones they have today where you're wearing the yellow shirts or were you wearing something different?
Yellow shirts and black pants.
Direct your attention to right around 11 p.m. What part of the strip were you working?
I was working the little bit further south end, south of Flamingo.
Did you have a partner?
Yes, I did.
What was his name?
Richard Goldgard.
while you were working on that area of the strip, did you cause there to be some sort of car stop of a vehicle?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what was the purpose of stopping this vehicle?
I initiated a car stop on a black BMW that had no license plates.
May I approach the judge?
You may.
First, I'm going to show you what's on marked State's proposed exhibits 1 and 2. Now, there's some obvious markings on here, but these appear to be two aerials of the Las Vegas Valley from generally around the time period of the 2096 area.
Yes, sir.
Accurately reflect kind of the locations that they're describing on there.
That was another thing that I kind of felt like was weird. Y'all let me know. The BMW not having license plates, so it's easy to identify. A lot of people were saying that a lot of people were saying that Pac, Suge, Keefy D, it was like a triangle offense of this whole conspiracy to kill Pac and Notorious B.I.G. Do you think that's weird for somebody like Suge Knight to not have any motherfucking plates on his car?
Lingo, Harmon.
Yes.
Move to admit 1 and 2, Judge.
Any objection?
No objection.
So admitted. You may publish.
I'm going to start with exhibit number 1. And right next to you, don't click it, but there is a mouse that you can roll around with a pointer. And can you generally tell me where this car stop occurred?
It won't work because you're doing it off of your computer.
I have it plugged in. It works.
There it goes.
So it will work.
Just trying to wrap around the boulevard here.
So if I told you that red dot's Harmon and Flamingo, or sorry, Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yes, sir. Our car stop was right around, I believe it was right around this area.
So just south of Flamingo on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yes.
When you approached the vehicle, did you recognize the occupants?
No, I did not.
Why did you stop this vehicle?
It had no license plate on the back.
When you approached the vehicle, did the occupants communicate with you?
Yes.
And did you, at that point, did you learn their identity?
They told me who they were, but just as identifying them, not.
Did you know them?
No, I
when
did
they
not.
told you their names?
They told us their names because we asked them their names, but I didn't know them. I had no knowledge of them before that. We ID'd them.
As you sit here today, do you recall who they were?
Yeah, Tupac Shakur and Marion Knight.
May I approach?
You may.
Showing you grand jury exhibit number 3. Is that how the two of them appeared to look that evening when you approached them?
Yes.
In particular, Mr. Shakur is wearing or has on a very large gold necklace.
Yes.
Did you talk to him about that necklace?
Yeah, we talked to him for a few minutes out there, and I just remarked to him, "Wow, man, that's a huge piece of gold or something like that he had around his neck."
Would you describe your interaction with them as congenial?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask them about the license plate, why their vehicle had no license plate?
Yes, I did.
And what was the response?
They stated that they were filming a video, so they had taken the license plate off because they were filming a video going up and down the strip.
Move to admit 3, Judge.
Any objection?
I'm sorry. No objection, Your Honor.
Admit so admitted. You may publish.
And this large gold medallion is what we're talking about, correct?
Yes, sir.
How did that interaction with Mr. Knight and Mr. Shakur end?
We told them that they were going to have to put the plate back on their car, and we warned them and released them.
Did you remain down on the strip, in the strip area after they left that car stop?
Yes, sir.
We'll fast forward about, say, 10 minutes later, something unusual happened. What happened?
We were continuing riding on the strip area. We were heading southbound on the boulevard, and we heard some calls come out about a vehicle. Can't remember exactly what was said, but heading up towards Harmon, we saw the vehicle that had been described in the median of the road. It looked like it had ran up on the median and was stopped there in the middle of the boulevard.
What do you do when you see that?
We approached the vehicle.
Is it you and Mr. Goldberg or Officer Goldberg?
Officer Goldberg and I.
And do you see either of the two people that you saw earlier in the vehicle?
Yes.
And who is that?
Marion Knight was outside of the vehicle, walking around, talking, and Tupac Shakur was being removed by EMS people.
As Marion Knight is talking, do you recall anything he's saying?
He was telling us to take care of Tupac Shakur. He had Marion Knight had a chunk of shrapnel or something in his head. He was bleeding, and when I went to talk to him, he was adamant that we needed to go and care for Mr. Shakur.
Did you then go to Mr. Shakur?
Yes, I did.
And then what do you do? What's your responsibility as it relates to Mr. Shakur as the EMT is working on?
I was trying to talk to him to find out what had happened. Excuse me. Gather information to see who had fired at them.
Did you wind up riding anywhere with Mr. Shakur?
Yes, I rode to the hospital and the ambulance with him.
During that time period, between the time you get to Mr. Shakur and the time period he gets taken into the hospital, are you able to have any sort of communication with Mr. Shakur?
He was still talking, and I was trying to convince him to tell me the name of whoever his assailants were.
And did he ever respond?
Yes, he responded, no, we'll take care of it. So something like that.
Said, no, we'll take care
We'll
of it.
take care of it, something like that.
And that's the only thing you were able to gather from Mr. Shakur?
Yeah, I couldn't get him to talk to me any further than that. That was repeated a couple of times.
I'm going to approach with a few photographs. So obviously when an incident, well, let me back up. When an incident like this happens, there's first responders, but then there is detectives, crime scene analysts, everybody who's called out. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Showing you what's been marked as grand jury exhibit number 4. You recognize the individual who appears to be inside that vehicle at that time.
Dan Ford.
Do you know what he did for Metro?
At the time, he was a detective. I was not there when that photograph was taken, but at the time he was a detective. I'm not sure what he was, homicide or general assignment or
Maybe a crime scene.
crime scene analyst, CSI.
And then I'm just going to show you a few other pictures of the vehicle itself. Showing you state's proposed exhibits 5 through 8. Just flip through those.
Okay.
Is that how the vehicle appeared to you when you first arrived on scene? Obviously without people in it.
Right. On the scene of the
He did look big
where
fucking
it
that
stopped
car.
on Little Harmon Boulevard.
Move to admit 5 through 8.
Any objection, Mr. Sand?
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted, you may publish.
And then finally, while you were at UMC, did you collect some personal items off Mr. Shakur?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked as state proposed exhibit number 33. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
That's the objects I removed from Tupac Shakur. I impounded those into evidence. There should be a property report for those.
Let's talk about that large gold chain we see in that photograph right there. The second time you came across Mr. Shakur, was he wearing that gold chain that's around his neck?
No.
And so you weren't able to recover that from him at the hospital?
No.
Which I'm just going to put up a few of these.
So then where his fucking gold chain go that quick? Did they ever get it back? Cause like if he didn't get it at the hospital, where was it at? Cause I know a person ain't gonna wait till he was in the middle of being shot to take it.
These photographs.
Okay. I just letting you know that 4 was not admitted.
Move to admit 4.
Any objection, Mr. Sam?
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted.
Showing you 4. That's Mr. Ford appearing like he's inside that vehicle. Okay. 5.
Yeah, Suge ain't had no business being in the car that side. He ain't had no business being in the car that goddamn side. And you know what I mean? Like real shit.
That's the front of the vehicle.
You know how low you gotta be for your homeboy to be shot, and the first thing you do before even getting aid or rendering aid or trying to help him is take his chain off his neck?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, she's typing down everything, so you gotta answer yes or no.
Apologies.
That's the rear of the vehicle without the license plate still.
Yes.
Number 8 is the driver's side of the vehicle.
Yes.
And oops.
Mr. DeJacmo,
Right now I
33
put the
also
wrong
not
one up.
admitted. Okay. With Kellen?
There you go. 7. That is what the passenger side of that vehicle looked like.
Yes.
Finally, for you, 33. Those are the items you were collected off Mr. Secure at the hospital.
Yes.
But Mr. Samt has requested, and I've agreed, to also offer Dan Ford's CSA report, as Mr. Ford is not physically capable of coming to court to testify.
So that'll be admitted via stipulation?
Yes.
What exhibit did you want it to?
I guess we could just make it next in order, which I believe is 143.
All right, that'll be admitted via stipulation as 143.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. I think 33 is the note down. Okay, not in front of us.
And based upon that agreement,
This is 33. 33 is also not admitted.
move to admit 33.
Any objection?
No objection needed.
So admitted.
And based on that agreement that we've reached with Mr. Samt, I believe he has no objection to the rest of Mr. Ford's crime scene photographs at this particular
Damn, what the fuck was in 33 then? I want to know what the fuck was picture 33? Shit, we need to see everything.
scene, which is state proposed exhibits 9 through 32.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, 9 through 32 will be admitted via stipulation. You may publish.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay.
I get that the chains don't belong to the artist, but goddamn, can't you wait to the hospital? Do you get? I mean, you ain't even know the man was dead yet. The man ain't dying until he got to the hospital. I mean, let him have his chain.
And you are Mr. Gale.
Yes.
Well, welcome back to the courtroom.
Thanks.
Oh my God, here come Aladdin. He about to piss me off.
So let me ask you this. So how long had you been working for Metro until you retired?
Like 13 years?
I see. And at the time when you were on the bicycle on September 7, 1996, how long had you been working for Metro at that point?
Yeah, I thought that's what you asked to begin with. I started in '83, so it would have been right around 13 years.
I see. And obviously, when you are first a police officer, you go through an academy before you become an actual police officer.
Yes, sir.
And you learn skills and techniques and things to help you become a successful police officer.
Yes.
One of those things I would imagine would be writing reports.
Yes.
Now, fair to say though, in this particular case, what you had seen, what you had done was basically you saw a license plate that wasn't on a vehicle, you stopped them, you asked for their ID, and at some point...
Yeah, actually, Von, both of them was. If you know what I'm saying, there was alleged rumors that both of them were leaving labels. Tupac and Biggie. You dig what I mean? So yeah, it really would have been problem. I mean, Suge and Puffy would have lost a lot of money. They made a lot of money during the beef. You dig? So like, I can only imagine how they wanted it. I mean, how they would have felt if that would have came to a halt. But I agree. I think Pac for sure was making moves. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's real. It's always been real iffy when it came down to all of this shit.
Or you just allowed them to continue on their way.
Yes.
So there was no need to write a report about that.
No.
Okay. Did you write a report and with regard to that stop?
No.
Okay. Now, when you were present at the scene and you saw the vehicle stop, do you know if any other vehicles were behind it?
No, I did not see any other vehicles behind it, so I don't know.
So there wasn't like a caravan or a line of vehicles behind the black BMW when you stopped the BMW?
No.
Can you describe for us a little bit about what the area was like on the night of September 7th, 1996?
It was a pretty average night for the Strip as far as the amount of traffic flowing and things like that. Not particularly crowded or packed or anything like that. The area we stopped them in had some lighting, but it wasn't like right in front of a hotel or something that cast a lot of lighting on the area or anything like that. But,
I see.
you know, nothing out of the ordinary.
So there was nothing out of the ordinary as to that particular date and time in terms of any special events going on in Las Vegas at that particular time?
I'm sorry, there was always something going on the Strip, so...
Yeah, I think that's what's pissing me off with this motherfucking attorney. He looked like too many nigga people. He looked like too many damn people. You feel me? He looked like Bill Murray. He looked like Johnny Depp. He looked like motherfucking Aladdin. And then when I'm looking at him right now, you feel what I'm saying? He looked like Kevin Spacey with hair. I'm pissed off right now. Like, who is this nigga? Facts.
I heard that things were going on that night, but I was really aware of them.
Were you ever aware that on that particular night there was a championship boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon that was being held at the MGM?
Yes.
All right. And I would venture to say that would be something that would have been briefed to all the police officers prior to you going on your shift for that night.
No, we didn't really talk about it.
All right. And then with regards to the amount of traffic, you're saying that even though this championship fight had taken place, in your opinion, there wasn't a lot of traffic on the Strip?
Not more than ordinary.
Okay. And when you say not more than ordinary, can you describe for us what that means exactly?
So the Strip is always pretty crowded, or was at that time. So, that's why they had us out there on bicycles. It's because we could get in between and out of cars. So I guess when we conducted the car stop, there was enough traffic that we felt comfortable that he was going to have to stop and pull over, that he wouldn't be able to just take off on us.
Right.
And that's the best description I have. That's why we rode bikes out there. So, but there was always traffic in that area. So it's always congested over there.
Okay, and that's probably the best way to put it, right? It's still congested for Las Vegas.
Yes.
But it's normal for Las Vegas to be
Yes.
congested.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it wasn't like, for instance, I don't know if you were around Las Vegas in 2020 when you could just take your bicycle and just ride down
I be going
Las
after
Vegas
the
Boulevard
defense
with
attorneys
no
like
one around,
hell.
right? It's not that
I'm
bad.
like,
It's
no,
not
no.
like that. All right. And when you say congested, meaning that cars could not go very fast because there's always cars around in that area.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, your testimony was that you had arrived on scene, and then at some point you're actually in the ambulance with Mr. Shakur.
Yes.
Being transported to the hospital.
Yes.
And the hospital you were going to was UMC.
It was UMC.
Okay. Now, when a police officer first arrives on scene, is that police officer considered to be the primary officer until such time as they are relieved of that duty?
Ordinarily, yes.
Were you the primary officer at that particular scene? Were you the first officer on arrival?
I don't really remember. There were so many of us that showed up like at right around the same time. There's just a lot of officers showed up there pretty quickly.
Right. Now, I mean, you have a pretty clear memory of this. Did you review any records or have any meetings with the district attorney's office prior to your testimony here today?
Yes, I did. I reviewed the records.
Okay. And once again, you do that so it'll help you refresh your recollection as to what occurred 30 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Even though this might be something that's unusual, right? You have a celebrity who's shot on the strip, you still have to refresh your recollection in order for you to remember things.
Some of it, yes.
Yeah. And once again, you're doing that so you make sure for this jury that you're accurate about what you recall 30 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, you were shown a map, and I'm going to show you again here. This is State's Exhibit number 1. See this?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me, this map, do you know if this map was the actual map in 1996 of the Las Vegas area?
No.
Okay, you're smiling.
It's just a long time ago. It changes so much down there.
Yeah. So we know that this is a map of Las Vegas.
Yes.
But you cannot tell us, for instance, if this is 1996.
No, I cannot tell you.
Okay. So, for instance, on the top over here, this doesn't look like the Sphere, does it? Does it?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then down over here, does this look like T-Mobile or anything like that, as far as you can tell?
No.
Okay. Now, and once again, I just want to make sure I'm clear for the jury. This particular...
Nigga, I don't understand what the fuck they got to do anything. One thing's for sure is that the street ain't changed. The pavement's the same. Nigga, he told you the vicinity where Pac was shot. That's all that matter. Who gives a fuck what T-Mobile and the Spear is, nigga? The street is the same.
The map as it sits here right now, as it's here, for instance, we have what looks like down here at the bottom. I'm pointing where the MGM label is right here. Do these look like walk bridges over the streets?
I can't really tell.
Let me just scroll here real quick. Does that help you?
Yeah, they do look like walkways.
And fair to say that those walk bridges in 1996, people were still walking on the streets, crossing like pedestrian crosswalks, right?
I'm trying to recall. I couldn't honestly recall.
Yeah.
I remember them taking the crosswalks out and putting those walkways in.
Right.
I remember when they did that, but I don't remember the year they did it.
And once again, I'm not trying to. It's not a catch-up moment.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't want to say something that I can't be sure of, but I remember when I was down there working, they no longer allowed traffic to cross on foot across the strip because of all of the accidents that we had. So they put those walkways in when I was still working.
Right. Okay. Now, and just finally here, with regards to the when you're riding on the strip and you're riding with your with the other person that's with you, you said at some point you were made aware that there was a shooting that had occurred, and the radio traffic indicated that the vehicle you had stopped was potentially the vehicle that was being involved. Remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
Do you think it would have changed the outcome of things if he did get him a ticket and shit like that for not having no license plate on the car? Because as you can see, the Jack Sparrow dude had just asked him, like, did he do a report? And he said, no, he didn't do a report. And sometimes you just kind of wish they did a report or something, because it probably would have slowed everything that happened that night. Now, would it have changed, you know what I'm saying, if Pac would have lived like on some Final Destination shit? Who knows? But it was just so many different things that happened that night that seemed like it was just trying to it just seemed like it was trying to direct Pac from going out, from being around. It just, I don't know, man. It was just, I don't know. When you look at it, it's just so eerie.
Okay, can you tell us just really quickly here, based upon State's Exhibit number 1, and once again, we're not looking at it in terms of an accurate 1996 view, but just in terms of the streets. Can you tell us where you were at when you took off to wherever the vehicle was? And I'll just pull that here real quick so you can.
Thank you.
Sure.
I couldn't really tell you where we were because my memory serves me, it was called out right around the same time as we were rolling up on that vehicle.
Okay.
There was shots fired call and vehicles involved, and then we rolled up and saw that vehicle in the middle of Harmon.
And when you rolled up and you saw the vehicle, can you tell us other vehicles that were behind that vehicle? Were there any other, vehicles in an entourage behind the black vehicle?
There were several vehicles stopped all over the strip. It was cluttered with cars, so I couldn't tell you if they were with them or not.
Sure. Did other police officers aid in terms of securing the scene and making sure that anything of evidentiary value was going to be kept in that area?
Yes.
Because I would imagine it wasn't just you by yourself.
Right.
Your partner, other officers arriving on scene would have started to help as a team.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any redirect examination, Mr. DeJohnson?
No, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do you have any questions for this witness? If you do, please raise your hand and I'll walk you through the process.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Just V. That's what makes it so eerie, because when you listen to Kadada's accounts, she kept trying to make Pac stay, which made them be late to get into Club 626, which made Keefe D them leave 626 because he was like, they haven't showed up yet. And it just seems like everything that night was trying to slow Pac down from going to the 626 and just going, period. You would have thought that when he fought that night at the MGM Grand, that would have made him say, look, man, I'm going to just stay in the house and kick it with my shorty. It's too hot. They're going to probably be looking for me and blah, blah, blah. And even when he made up the decision to go to 626, it was like his girl didn't want him to leave. So now he late getting to 626. He finally get ready to go to 626. You feel what I'm saying or whatever? And it's like they leave 626. And then it was like, nigga, right when they trying to goddamn get there, he go to girl, Tupac, give me a picture. Well, let them see that. Man, it was just like everything in the world was trying to prevent him from just getting killed. And it just did not work.
Seeing no hands, thank you so much for being with us, Mr. Dale. You are excused.
Thank you.
State may call their next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. State calls Ingrid Stokes. Yes.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this section shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Ingrid Stokes, INGRIDSTOKES.
Thank you, ma'am. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Paul, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Stokes.
Good morning.
Back in 1996, did you have a different last name?
It was Johnson.
Okay, so you went by Ingrid Johnson back then? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did you come to Las Vegas on the weekend of September 7th, 1996?
Yes.
Oh, so this was one of the ladies that was in the car that took the pic of the pot. Damn, she took an infamous picture.
Who'd you come with?
My best friend and some girlfriends.
Okay, can you tell me who they were?
Shalane, Tanisha, and Lauren.
And why'd you come to Las Vegas that weekend?
Well, when you live in LA, you go to Vegas all the time. It's just a party city. So we decided to go for the weekend. We were all off work. And so we went to come hang out. Have fun.
And were you aware, and well, first let me take a step back. So you guys were living in LA at the time?
Yes.
What part of LA?
I may have lived at my dad's, which is Carson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, And you came out for the purposes to party. Were you aware that there was a Mike Tyson fight that weekend?
Yes, that's one of the reasons. There was always a Mike Tyson fight. But we were coming because my friend knew one of the managers or coaches, I forget what they're called, and we were planning on going to the fight.
Did you end up going to the fight?
No.
What happened?
Women in the bathroom, 4 women in the bathroom did not work. We took too long. We missed the fight completely.
And so, where were you staying that night?
I believe we were at the Lexor, or the Rio, but I think it was the Lexor.
Okay. And then, did you ever actually make it to the MGM where the fight was?
We made it to the let out, is what I call it, because the fight was already over, so everyone was kind of hanging out. So we went to see what was going on for the night.
And did you hang out there for a while?
I don't remember, but it would have been enough time to run into a few friends and say hello and hang out, maybe a drink or two, maybe.
So, what did you do after hanging out at the MGM Grand?
Well, we had met one of my friends, and they had mentioned there was somewhere they were going to go, so we decided, okay, we'll go there first and see what's happening before we decide, where we're going to end the night. So we all got back in our car, the rented car we took from LA, and drove.
And do you recall?
Can you imagine how many times that pic would have been shared on her page if back then was now? Like, she would be famous for that picture right now, bro. Like, dead ass.
What kind of car that was?
It was a convertible Supreme.
And did all 4 of you go in the car?
Yes, all 4 of us were in the car.
And what happened once you guys started driving?
It's a loaded question. A lot happened. We got in the car. I believe we left the MGM parking lot, and then we went to the main street, Las Vegas Boulevard, I guess. And we were driving, and I believe we were, I don't know, about 10 minutes after leaving the parking lot, and then we ran into Suge and Tupac in the car.
And when you say you ran into them, what did that look like?
Well, we were...
Just think about it. It was 30 years ago. So she probably was young and fine. She beautiful now, but like, you gotta understand, she probably was like, you know what I'm saying, in her 20s and shit. So it's like, it's so crazy how long ago this happened, and we're just now getting insight about it now, and it's so wild.
We were driving, hanging out in the convertible, and my girlfriend, Lauren, at the time, she knew Suge, and she told us, hey, there's Suge, pull up next to him. I'm gonna ask them what they're doing. And so Shalane was the driver, and she slowed up close to me.
And so you said Shalane was the driver.
Yes.
Where were you seated?
I was the passenger, in front.
In the front passenger? So Shalane's driving, you're on the front passenger, and the other 2 women are in the back seat?
Yeah, Tanisha's behind me, and then Lauren is behind the driver.
After all these years, you still know that, huh?
Well, yeah. Some things you don't forget. That one.
Yeah, nigga, that day is significant. Shit, it probably reshaped her whole life.
And so then when you start driving, when you see Suge and your friend starts talking to Suge, what happens?
They were talking, and she was like, what's going on, what's happening? We look over, and we pull up to the car, and we kind of nod or say hello, that kind of thing, but we were in our own little world. While she was talking to him, he said, hey, we're all going to the club, why don't you follow us, get behind us, you can go with us. And so that was, decided we'll go there first and see what's happening before we go anywhere else.
So do you follow, do you remember who's driving and who's in the passenger side?
Suge was driving and Tupac was in the passenger seat.
Alright. Well, leave states in 3.
And these ladies said they was in a convertible, right? So they was in a convertible in a drop top, right?
They were going to publish that.
Well, they left lucky they didn't get they muffin top peeled back blue. Shit.
Is this kind of the way they look
Yeah,
that night?
that was just like this.
And so, follow.
Decided we'll go there first and see what's happening before we go anywhere else.
So do you follow, do you remember who's driving and who's in the passenger side?
Suge was driving and Tupac was in the passenger seat.
Alright. Well, leave states in 3. They were going to publish that. Is this kind of the way they look
Yeah,
that night?
that was just like this.
And so, you decided to follow Suge and Tupac to the club?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
That's okay. And so, do you recall the name of that club?
It was an area code, so I remember it was 662 or 702, but now I know it's 662.
And then did you? When did you?
I was calling that shit 626. And that's bullshit.
Did you guys start driving over the club?
We got behind them and we start driving down the Las Vegas Strip, and it was weird because there was a car behind us and they kept going around us trying to get in front of us. It happened quite often. It was really annoying. We didn't understand what was going on. And then at one point we were getting ready to turn to go on the main street. I guess Flamingo was on, or Flamingo, I think is what it's called. When we turned that way, I was like, "What the heck's going on? People keep getting in front of us. I know how to get to the club. Let's figure out our own way. I can drive and we can meet them up there." And so our plan was to get out from behind.
Damn. Do you see what the fuck I mean? like, lady, I wish you just didn't know how to get there. It's like everything in the world was working against Shawty, man.
So you were confused about the way the cars were moving.
Yeah, I didn't understand. In hindsight, I know now, but I didn't understand there was entourage. I just thought, they were going to the club. We didn't think about it.
And then at some point on Flamingo, do you stop at a light?
Yeah, so when we get close to the light, I tell Shalane, pull over, I'll drive. I know where I'm going. I've been there before. So we pull from around them, and then we stop at the light, and
before, that's my fault, not yours. So before, when you guys were stopped at the light, where is your car relative to Suge Knight's and Tupac Shakur's car?
So I believe there was 4 lanes, a turning lane, the lane next to it, the middle, and then there was one for like the outside lane. So they were on the 3rd lane, I believe, and when we got off the lane behind them, we got out and we went past, and I think we were a car or 2 on the 2nd lane from the light.
And so were you behind or in front of Suge Knight's car?
We were in front.
So you're in the lane next over, a car, or maybe 2 in front.
Yeah, exactly.
Then while you're waiting at that light, does anything happen?
Bro, after all of this time, this is the first time that we're getting a lot of motherfucking, information of how everything was set up. Because, see, I was under the impression that this whole time these ladies were standing right next to them. I didn't know it was 4 lanes. I'm always thinking that it was like a 2-lane strip. I don't know what the fuck. So now it's making sense to me. So basically what they're saying is that they're like ahead of them, but they're like to the side of them. So basically, this is crazy as hell. But keep going.
Well, me and Shalane were going to change seats. I was going to drive. I'm the more aggressive driver. After what, she was nervous with them coming back in front of us so much. So me and Shalane were literally head down, taking our seatbelts off when we heard the gunshots.
Damn.
All hell broke loose.
And to be fair, you didn't see those gunshots.
No.
And then what do you do when you hear the gunshot?
Yo, that is so crazy because just think about, them ladies almost was behind them to see this deliberately. I was always under the impression that these ladies seen the whole thing unfold. Swear to God.
I freak out and I scream, "What the hell?" I said, "What the hell?" And then Shalane is kind of half up, half down, and so I grab her head to bring her down. And I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And then she has her hand on the wheel, but she's like frozen. And so I don't remember how many gunshots there were, honestly. But I know I put the car in drive, and I told him to get the hell out of there and drive. And so I made him grab the wheel. Like I said, I'm very aggressive. And from that, she tried to drive off.
And then...
Hold on, I thought she was behind the wheel of the car. What happened? Because then she said she was getting into the wheel of the car. What?
All hell broke loose.
And to be fair, you didn't see...
Yeah, exactly.
Then while you're waiting at that light, does anything happen?
Well, me and Shalane were going to change seats. I was going to drive. I'm the more aggressive driver. After what, she was nervous with them coming back in front of us so much. So me and Shalane were literally head down.
Oh, I see what she was saying. They was just about to switch. So that's what she was like. She was just unbuckling her seatbelt when the shots rang off. Okay, let's keep going.
Down, taking our seatbelts off.
Okay.
When when we heard the gunshots.
Gotcha.
When it's all hell broke loose.
And to be fair, you didn't see those gunshots.
No.
And then what do you do when you hear the gunshots?
I freak out and I scream, "What the hell? Hell!" I said, "What the hell?" And then Shalane is kind of half up, half down, and so I grab her head to bring her down. And I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And then she has her hand on the wheel, but she's like frozen. And so I don't remember how many gunshots there were, honestly. But I know I put the car in drive, and I told him to get the hell out of there and drive. And so I may even grab the wheel. Like I said, I'm very aggressive. And from that, she tried to drive off.
And then, did you see the color of the vehicle?
Yeah, so we almost hit the car. When we were trying to drive off, there was a car in the lane, that last lane, that was the turning lane, and it was a white four-door. Can't tell you what kind, but I just know it was like white-ish, and we almost hit it when we were trying to get away.
Were you trying to pursue the white car?
Hell no. Just want to get away.
And then where did you guys go? Did you turn off? Did you follow them turning off? Or?
We turned off. We turned the only way you could turn because it was a red light, which was down that first street past. And then when we turned right, we were just driving fast.
So now I got a very vivid understanding. Okay, so they were in the second lane to the furthest right hand lane to where this turns. So they're in the second lane. Tupac and them was in the third lane, 2 cars behind them. So after the white car shot Tupac, because you got to understand at this time, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, they were behind Tupac and them car because they moved. You know what I'm saying? So then the white car goes from from behind Tupac's and them car to the right of Tupac car, which now will be putting them in the second lane as well, probably like a car behind them. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. They shoot at Tupac and them and then start veering to the furthest right lane to make that right turn. Now they hearing the shots and they trying to get away. So instinctively they go to make that right turn too. And they almost collide with the persons who was shooting at Tupac and them. Okay, now it makes sense. Because we never knew this shit. This is crazy.
Still might have been gunshots. I can't speak for anyone else in the car, but it was a lot going on. There was a lot of adrenaline. And then the first street we saw that was on the left, I was like, turn left. And we just turned down a random street that had like apartments on it.
Now, it's fair to say you didn't see who was in the car, right?
No, didn't look.
But did you go back to where the shooting occurred?
Yes, I did.
Were you nervous about talking about what happened?
I didn't think I had anything valuable to say, to be honest. So I wasn't nervous initially because I just was like, we came back because just when we wondered what happened. Because we left, so we didn't know. We didn't look around. We didn't see anything. We just left. And so when we came back, we saw there were a lot of police presence. And I wasn't a big fan of the police at the time, so I wanted to stop and talk to them and offer my help, but also wanted to make sure if I could help, I would help. So when we went back, we told officers we had been there when some.
I love articulate black women, black men. I love us. I mean, for real. I love the fact that she's narrating what she said. It got the hood, but it got a twang of that class too. Go girl, shit. Fuck you talking about?
Something happened. What happened when we left? And so he made us stop the car and get out the car. The police officer made us sit on the ground on the sidewalk in front of everything. Cars were still, I think, may have been passing. So it was kind of.
They probably making it seem like y'all shot
an odd situation where they were like kind of rude to us, and then they're treating us like we're suspects. We really didn't know what happened though, and so they said, well, we need you guys, eyewitnesses, we need you guys to come downtown or in a van for you guys to come, and had us sit there. I kept asking a lot of questions, but no answers.
Now,
what were some of the questions, girl? Shit, tell us, cause they ain't trying to tell us shit.
I know some of your friends aren't going to be here. Is there this fear about talking in this kind of case?
Absolutely, yes.
Why is that?
Snitches get ditches. Saying not the cool.
Damn, her own friends ain't gonna testify who was there because they scared. You dig? And that's sad as hell because that's the type of stigma we got in our community. You feel me? And that's why none of our babies get justice. And that's sad as hell. Snitches get stitches. And these ladies ain't gang bangers, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But they still afraid because they still get treated by the same code as gangsters. And it shouldn't be like that. I'm letting you right now. I'm telling. So do what you gotta do, partner.
But yeah, I know talking to police is not a cult thing we do in our culture anyway in LA. It's not a normal thing. So there was that, especially in the 90s and 80s. There was multiple reasons why, but I didn't see anything. So I was kind of limbo. I didn't see anything. I didn't think I'd be beneficial. And then I don't know. I was going to offer some assistance when I could, because I may have had more memory back then. I may have heard the number of gunshots. I may have had more. But the police treated us so bad that we started shutting down, because we're like, if someone did it, they could come by and sit on the ground. They can see we're sitting here telling people, even though we're not saying anything. So this was a really bad situation.
And is it fair to say that that was something that also would scare you, is that if somebody was seeing you talk about
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about it like that. But just think about if Keefe did them would have circled the block just to see what they did. No, they would have seen them young ladies sitting right there and just automatically thought that they had a description on the car and all types of shit. You feel me? And they could have retaliated. Yeah, I don't think that sometimes the police officers be looking at it from that standpoint. Because when y'all go home to La Brea or wherever the fuck y'all live at night, nigga, you know what I'm saying? We right back over here in the hood. And they remember us. Shit, how you talking about?
What's your response, Mr. Paul?
I'm just following up on her question that she related foundation to.
Also state if you could rephrase.
Okay.
Hi, Shantae.
Is it fair or unfair to say that you are concerned about people seeing you talking to police?
Yes.
Right. No further questions.
Cross-examination, Mr. Singh.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hi, Mr. Obviously, I would imagine you've never testified.
First of all, pump your brakes, Spiral Curl. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't got time for your herbal essences. For real, with your treasures and shit. This is our family. Fuck you talking about?
About this particular situation.
No, I was in the grand jury.
Okay, so you were at the grand jury. And with regards to your testimony, when you were in front of the grand jury, did you meet with the district attorney's office prior to giving that testimony to the grand jury?
Not except outside the door when I got to the courthouse. I mean, the door of the grand jury.
I see. And with regards to that testimony, did you review any documents, records, anything like that in preparation for your testimony in front of the grand jury?
No.
All right. Now, asking you again for today, did you review any documents in preparation for your testimony here in front of this jury?
I looked at the grand jury testimony that I said, but other than that, no.
Okay. Now, when this thing had occurred, I would imagine it would have been a very traumatic experience for you.
Yes.
And at some point you go back to LA.
That's what I'm trying to say. Was it a different set of fucking girls that was yelling Tupac? Because see, this is what got me blipped. I mean, so who took the picture? So it had to be a different set of girls, because it seemed like these people knew Suge. So if these girls was in the back just, talking while her homegirl was rapping to Suge, it would have been no reason for them to be screaming Tupac. So where's the Tupac screaming bitches at?
Yes. Is that a yes?
Yes.
That's all right. It's just for the record. When you go back to LA, did you ever
That's who the
just
fuck
sort
we
of keep on
need.
top of it, like in terms of like articles that would come out in magazines, anything like that at all?
No, we didn't talk about that night for decades. We used to talk about it.
Okay. Now, did you ever at any point capture what you had remembered in a journal or anything like that?
I did a couple of documentaries. Yes, years. Like 20 years later.
I see. And in preparation for those documentaries, what did you use to refresh your recollection back then?
How come I don't remember seeing her on no goddamn documentary? Y'all remember her? Huh? Y'all do?
Talk to my girlfriend. I mean, more talk and try to remember pieces that I could.
Right. And your girlfriend was also present in the Sebring when it happened?
Yes, she was driving.
I see.
That's
Now, just to describe us a little bit that night, you're driving in a convertible Sebring.
Yes.
And I'd assume that the top was probably down.
The top was down.
Okay. And the weather that night, was it raining?
No.
Nigga, what? For real? Don't piss me off.
Can you describe for the jury what the weather was like that night?
It was Vegas in September. It probably, I mean, I'd be guessing, but I know what it wasn't. It wasn't raining. It could have been a cloud in the sky, but I wouldn't remember that.
Was it
No,
cold?
it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. We didn't have any jackets. We had designer clothes. That's why I was mad. I had to sit on the curb. But no, we were. It was a nice, cool evening. So I would probably say
I mean, Tupac had on a goddamn tank top. So it had to be a nice fucking night, Mr. Man.
80s, 70s, 80s. I have no idea.
All right. But obviously, among the 4 girls, no jackets or anything that would indicate that it was cold that night.
Yes, no.
Now, in addition to that, your testimony was that you had pulled up alongside Suge Knight's vehicle at some point.
Yes.
Now, I noticed that you weren't given a map. Did you ever have an opportunity to kind of envision exactly where this had occurred?
I didn't forget that part.
Okay. If I were to show you a map, would you
Oh, okay. It was a dude who did it. Okay, thank you so much, J. Michelle Humphrey.
be able to point out for
Yes.
us exactly?
Much as I can, yes, absolutely.
Sure. I'm going to show you what's been marked in the middle of the States Exhibit number 1. Just for the record, I'm showing you States Exhibit number 1. It's just an overview of Las Vegas.
Yes.
Does that help you at all?
No, not really, but I see the streets. It's what I thought. I'm assuming the red dot is Vegas Boulevard.
And we say red dot, there's a mouse that's right there in front of you. You can use that to sort of move that mouse over to where, no, that doesn't do that.
I can point it, but
Now let me do
When
this.
you're on our computer, can you do that? This goes to your.
you can point it.
All right, so would this be, and
Yes,
I'm using my
that's-
Sharpie, that's
yes,
the dot?
yes.
Okay, so yes, that would be Las Vegas Boulevard. Now I'm going to point over here. Do you recognize this particular area?
Yeah, that's where it happened.
Okay, and this, I'm pointing now, once again for the record, Flamingo, and it looks like this would be Koval.
Cool, that sounds about right.
Now, you were describing for us a little bit about where the cars were. If I were to give you a piece of paper, can you draw for us just a little bit better so we can have a better view? Or,
I can try.
Okay. You want me to approach?
Yes, you may.
And what am I drawing exactly again?
If you could draw for us where, on that night, where Koval was. And just for the record, you're writing Koval, is it for the horizontal line or the vertical line?
It is the horizontal line.
Okay, so that's Koval. And then can you draw for us where Suge's vehicle was when you pulled up to it?
We were behind it.
Okay.
So it would have been, I was going to make lanes and like don't quote me, I could be off by one of course. So I'll say this was Suge and we were behind. So this
Here
was,
you go, family.
I'm going to put I for me. And then we moved and went right here. So this is where we end up parking. I'm not parking, but stopping at the red light.
That's fine. And just for the record, you have made a mark that looks like
You might have to refresh so you won't have the ads.
an S, and I would assume that would be for Suge's vehicle.
Yes.
And then there's another I, it looks like right there, and that would be for your vehicle.
Yes.
And then you have an arrow pointing to the next lane over where the I is now at.
Yes, that's where it ended.
Okay, great. And then when the shots, when you're, I guess, trying to change seats, can you tell us where you were at that particular point?
You mean in the car? Or-
Well, not in the car, but
Oh.
where the car was.
It was here when the shots happened.
Okay,
And when we were trying to flee, we were trying to get in this lane to go around and get turned.
I see.
And that's what we ended up doing eventually.
I see. So when the shots were fired, you were still in that I,
The eye,
and
yes.
then you pulled off onto Cole.
Yes.
Okay. Now this area right here, what is this? What street is that?
What do you mean? This Flamingo? No, this is Flamingo, I'm assuming. I'm guessing, like I said, I'm bad at direction. Places I still go today.
That's right.
And then here was like a gas station or something right there. And then here was where we turned off, right, which is where that first left was. So I don't know the name of the streets or anything.
No problem. I'm going to show this to the judge. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. All right. Your Honor, if I could have this marked as defendant's exhibit, opposed defendant's exhibit A,
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
and move for admission.
Any objection to its admission?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so admitted. Did you want to publish?
I would like to publish it.
Okay, feel free.
Thank you. Now, showing you what's been marked and admitted now as defense exhibit A. All right, and I will just explain this for the jury again. So where you have Coble is actually the street Coble, is that right?
Yes.
And you have Flamingo, which would be the other street that's going vertical down the defense exhibit A.
Yes.
And then on the corner, it would be one of the corners. There's a gas station.
Yes.
Now over here, this S, that would be what you would call a Suge Knight's vehicle.
Yes.
And you were directly behind that vehicle at some point.
Yes.
And you pulled up. And
Okay, so the way I had it in my brain is completely right. And then they came around. So after they move up, the white car moves where she was. You dig what I mean? Then after that, you feel what I mean? They move to the right lane again, shoot Tupac and them, and then go all the way to the right hand lane to make that right on Koval. And they almost both hit cars on Koval trying to turn. So when they turn on Koval, I guess the car goes and do whatever the fuck they want to, and then she makes that first left on the other side of the gas station. Okay, so that's crazy as fuck because, like, nigga, I was under the impression that the strip was just packed. You dig what I mean? It was I never had an understanding on how things were set up. I was feeling like the girls pulled up, they seen everything, you feel what I'm saying? But this wasn't even the girls that was screaming Tupac. Like, this is crazy as hell, dog.
And that's the arrow pointing up to the next lane over, and that's where you were at, right next to Suge's vehicle.
In front of, not next to. That's why it's a little above.
I see. So you're slightly in front of Suge's vehicle.
It's like a car in front of Suge, and then it's like a car it's a car behind her. So she's like a car in front of Suge and Pop, you know what I'm saying, when the whole thing occurred. Now, what's happening is, right now, from the way that she's understanding it, her and her homegirl is about to switch seats so she could be the one to drive the 626. But while they unbuckling their seatbelts, that's when the shooting start. So they didn't even get a chance to switch. They just get ready to bust that right on Koval. That's crazy as hell. I would have never known this shit.
Was there another vehicle over here in front of Suge's vehicle?
I'm assuming yes, because we weren't at the front of the line. So yes, maybe two.
I see. Maybe two vehicles, but presuming that there would be at least a vehicle in front of Suge's vehicle.
At least two, I'd say, because there was one in front of me.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And then this lane over here, what lane is that?
That's the a small lane that you can turn off.
Turning lane?
Yeah, it didn't say, but yes.
Yeah. And so at some point when the shots were ringing out, you just immediately just gassed the car and made a right-hand turn on Koval.
Yeah, into the turning lane.
Okay. And your testimony here right now, for instance, is that the top was down, but you didn't see...
No, I was looking down because I was initially changing my seat. So thank God, I was all face down.
Okay. And when you pulled off and you made that right-hand turn, did anyone shoot at you?
Probably. I honestly don't know. There was a lot of gunshots.
Sure. Did any, after the event had occurred, did you ever observe any bullet holes in your vehicle?
There was no bullet hole in my building.
Was there any shattered windshield as a result of, anything?
No.
I don't know how, nigga, the window, the top, well, you talking about the windshield, but the top was down. It's good that their head didn't get blown off. You want them to be able to give you some testimony? They could have lost their head.
Happening on the scene?
No.
Okay. And then with regards to where you were at, when your testimony was that you were talking to Suge. Suge was saying, hey, come to 662. Is that what was happening?
Yes.
And during that time period, you said, and I want to make sure I'm clear, that while there was a conversation about going over to Suge's place, but it seemed like everyone was sort of talking. Like it was like the girls in the back seat maybe were having a conversation or something like that.
No. Lauren was the only one talking to Suge. She's the only one who knew him.
I see.
So nobody. We were just like, oh, okay, looking like, because it wasn't our conversation.
Right. And when that was happening, did any of your people in your vehicle yell out, Tupac, Tupac, anything like that?
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, it's Tupac.
No.
Okay. Now, during that time period, as you're over here behind Suge's vehicle or next to it, did you ever see, can you describe for me what Tupac was doing in the vehicle?
When we pulled up on the side of him and she was talking to Suge, he was relaxed, like sitting in the sitting in the passenger seat, and Suge was relaxed talking to Lauren. Nothing, like there was no engagement.
Okay, so as you're sitting there and you pull up, Tupac was not hanging out the window and doing something out of the window.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. His torso was not sitting on top of the window yelling to his fans, Tupac, Tupac.
No, there was no fans around. They were just driving in the car, listening to music like we were.
All right. And during that time period, when you were here during this time period, there's a red light
Yes.
preventing you from moving forward. And once again, going back to Defense Exhibit A, there's no green light allowing traffic to move in the direction of Coble.
No.
Okay, so everyone was stopped at that particular point.
Everyone was stopped.
I have no further questions, John. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any of you direct?
No, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? We do have one. Okay, so what I'll need you to do is write your juror number on the question, and then write the question on a full sheet of paper, and then hand it to my marshal when you're done.
I don't like how he looking at her, nodding his head. What that fuck that mean, Mr. Snickers bar? I don't like this fool. You feel what I'm saying? I don't like none of them.
And then write the question on a full sheet of paper, and then hand it to my marshal when you're done.
I was just about to ask that shit. Did Suge get subpoenaed? Did Suge get subpoenaed? We need to hear from his milk dud head.
Any questions from anyone else? Okay, perfect. Can I have the party's approach?
Y'all, I was all on Google Maps looking at, you know what I'm saying, what was like looking at everything step by step. And I'm pretty sure everything has changed now as far as demographics. I wonder if I can go Google Maps 1996 to see the shit, how it looked then. Y'all think they got that then? How you can go back in the maps, or you don't think they go back that far? Why the fuck? Oh, it's private conversation. Cause I'm about to say, why the fuck?
All right,
He came
one
here.
question from our juror, from a juror.
Don't be motherfucking ex parteing us. Shit, we need to know. The hell you talking about? It don't go that. It don't go back that far.
Could you gauge what direction the shots were coming from?
No.
No. Any thought? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just.
While we got, I agree. While we got Puffy in custody, I feel like he should be forced to testify. Did you know that nigga Zip? Huh? Did you know Zip? Did you pay Zip?
It was too chaotic, and you're not, thinking about that, but no.
Okay, go. All right, one question from our juror. Could you gauge what direction the shots were coming from?
No.
No? Any thought? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I know it was
You're okay.
it was too chaotic, and you're not, thinking about that, but no.
Okay. State, any follow-up based on that question?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any follow-up based on that question?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. You are excused. That was fast. State, any quick witnesses, or are we prepared to take a lunch break?
Lunch break, Judge.
Okay, sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our lunch break at this time. During the recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report or commentary on the trial of any person.
Shut up, lady. Hey, this is crazy as hell. Now, I need to know. I need to know right now. Is there anybody in the comments who is learning information that they never knew? Because, nigga, there's certain things I didn't even know. And the Feeny ain't even around to get the seat of justice for her son. Who that is, y'all? Who is this right here? Who is that? Whoever it is, they look like they're related to a Finney. That's his sister, right? Is that Pac's sister? Okay, that's what I'm saying. They look like her. Okay. I mean, like, can y'all put the, what the,
In fact, I think
Where there isn't a deceased.
Not again.
like, damn.
I
Yeah, right.
Okay, we're on record in State versus Davis, C337407. We've gotten through some of our technical issues. Anything else we need to address before bringing in the jury?
She looked just like her mama. I mean, just like her mama. And I hope when this nigga found guilty, she go medieval like her mama too.
Okay, let's bring him in.
Yeah, the jury.
Hold on, guys.
To the party stick with you about the jury. Okay, you may all be seated. At this time, the state may call the next witness. All right, Mr. Becker, can you hear me?
yes, ma'am.
I'm going to have my clerk swear you. Please raise your right
Yes,
hand.
ma'am.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Brent Becker, BRENTBECKER.
I don't trust them.
Thank you.
Sir,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sir, you're retired these days. You're retired. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what'd you do for a living before you retired?
I was a police officer for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
It's not my computer.
And how
They
long
shit echoing.
what years were you with Metro?
I was there from 1984 to 2011.
And in September of 1996, what was your assignment?
I was a detective with the homicide section.
Do you recall how long you'd been with Hum?
Krishan Fight is already on my Toot React channel. We reacted to it earlier. I came back on here, but we've been on since this morning, like 10 o'clock. But it's on my Toot React channel. The whole Blueface debacle.
Homicide when you in 1996.
I got into homicide, I think it was November of 1994.
Did you have a partner in 96?
Yes, it was Mike Franks.
And who was your sergeant?
Kevin Manning.
Sorry.
I don't like this man either. His lip look like it stank, and his beard stank, and his ear stank too. I was telling my wife earlier, a lot of people always be focusing on their butts, their private parts and stuff like that for stank. An ear stank. Dead ass serious. An ear can smell just like an ass. It's a fact. You feel what I mean? Sometimes y'all be concentrating on the wrong shit. You worrying about asses and coochies. An ear will take your ass the fuck out.
He's gonna hold on a second. All right, he's gonna work on the echo.
Hey, y'all laughing, but I'm dead ass fucking serious. An ear in the belly button, that is the most stankiest shit in the world, bro. On my mama. Like, for real. A lot of y'all don't got the guts right now to rub behind y'all ear and smell it. I can because I just did mine this morning. But if it had to been like 3 days ago, I wouldn't have did it.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I ain't crazy. I just say the shit y'all think, but y'all won't say it out loud. Cause earring, nigga, you gotta listen. If you don't push your ear hole up for the alcohol to seep through that motherfucker, that shit gonna stink, bro.
On September 7th, or into, I guess, technically into September 8th of 1996, did you get called out for a shooting that happened, ultimately determined to be happened at Flamingo and Cobalt?
Yes, Sergeant Manning called me. It was about 12:30 in the morning and I was asleep, so it would have been September 8th. And so it was around 12:30, so by the time I got up, got dressed, and got there, it was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning on the 8th.
And when you say you got there, what scene did you go to?
Initially, from what I recall, I went to Harmon in the Boulevard because that's where general assignment and everybody was at to get debriefed on things and get some of the notes. And then...
Y'all, we gotta make sure that we remember in these intersections because we gotta go on Google Map and do a deep dive.
From what I recall, I went over to Flamingo and Cobalt to kind of look at the scene, but they had some...
I've been over there too, sir. I'm on the case with y'all. I just left from over there. I dead ass did. So we on the same page.
Witnesses from the car that supposedly was directly behind Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur back at Harmon and the Boulevard that I needed to interview.
Can we talk a little bit, first of all, Tupac Shakur is still alive on September 8th of 1996, correct?
That's what I was told. He had already been transported. He was not at the scene when I got there.
Is it somewhat unusual for homicide to be involved in a situation where there isn't a deceased victim yet?
Yeah, because see, that's another thing I was about to ask. Why the fuck was homicide there if Pac didn't die until the next 2 days afterwards? I never understood that shit. That's why I didn't believe it when they said that the motherfucker was in the hospital still alive, because there would have been no reason for homicide to be motherfucking investigating the case at that point.
That was very unusual, and normally we don't get called out, at least at that time, we didn't get called out unless there was a deceased victim. So it was unusual. I think when we arrived at the scene, we were told that because of the nature of who the victim was, General Assignment wanted us to come out to it.
Let me ask you, we've heard from a first responder today. Back in those days, what was general assignment? What does that mean?
General Assignment was in essence, the night detectives. They worked swing shift and graveyard shift. So they were the night detectives that if something needed a detective to respond, they were the ones that got called out to the scene.
So they would have been at this scene before you, and then they made a determination along with, I assume, the command staff that homicide should be called out to this investigation.
Santa ain't eating either. Y'all, this is how Santa Claus look now in 2026. Can't eat lettuce, can't eat shit. Santa over there motherfucker stressed out. He can't eat shit. Miss Claus ain't cooked for this nigga in years because he had ate that lettuce. Santa ate that lettuce last month. Now look at it. Look at it. Hey, no, but on some real nigga shit, another thing too that's crazy. Not only did the homicide people get called out there, but it also made me feel like, was the police involved? Like, was this on their watch? Because this material was weird to me. On a night, you know what I'm saying? On a night like the fight with Pac and on the strip, you would have just thought that it would have been way more police presence in the area where that nigga where people was killed, where he was shot at. But it's so crazy how so many people was there in a matter of seconds, like they knew it was about to happen. I always paid attention to that shit too. Like, you see how the dude on the bike was like, nigga, it wasn't even no time before, by the time he got there, and I know he on the bike, but by the time he got there, nigga, he was like, it was mad cops that was there. How you know? You know what I mean? Come on, bro.
Correct. Actually, uniformed officers would have been the first people called to the scene of anything. And General Assignment, I'm sure, was monitoring the traffic. So if they had heard the call, they may have been responding, but they would have gone out, assessed the scene, and eventually determined if someone, the type of scene it was and if someone needed to come out to it. And in this case, I guess someone must have called Sergeant Manning because he's the one that called us.
And your partner, Detective Franks, do you recall where he responded to?
I believe he got sent directly to a University Medical Center, the hospital, which is where Shakur and I believe Suge Knight got sent to.
And your responsibility, was there also crime scene analysts that were called up to the scene?
Yeah, my initial response was to the scene to start handling things directly at the crime scene, yes.
And then does at some point crime scene analyst Dan Ford show up and document the scene while you're present?
Dan Ford was already there from what I recall. They were called CSAs back then, I believe. Dan Ford would have already been there. Usually CSAs, because CSAs were assigned to each shift. So I'm pretty sure he was that particular shift CSA. He would have already been out there doing whatever he did for the scene, marking it, taking photographs and such.
When you, at the end of sort of both the two scene investigations, so the Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard, as well as the Flamingo and Koval investigation, essentially, what was the facts you were dealing with?
Well, according to the witnesses that I had interviewed, Frank Alexander, Malcolm Greenidge, Katari Cox, and Yafu Fula, and I'm just doing what I remember the pronunciation was. They were in the car behind Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur, and what they...
Who the fuck is Yafafula? Because see, this is where I get a little iffy, because you know that sounds like a Muslim name, and you know, and we know that it was said allegedly that a Muslim was the one who gunned down Biggie. Now, see, this is where it just be seeming like where the conspiracies that Suge and Diddy, you know what I'm saying, conspired to have their top artists knocked off because they were rumored to be leaving. It started to make a lot of sense, because who in the fuck is a Yala Fafula? Who is that? Y'all know who that is? I ain't never heard of that name in my life.
They described was that a white car, and from what I recall, they described a white Cadillac pulling up alongside Knight's car, and
so he trying to say Gaddafi. This nigga said Yafa Fula. I said, what the fuck? Okay, that's who he trying to talk to. Because I was like, who the fuck is that?
Someone inside that white Cadillac opening fire or shooting into the car that Knight and Shakur...
Yeah, he one of the outlaws. But I was like, I know I ain't heard no goddamn Yafi Fula.
were at. Their descriptions varied a little bit, but from what I recall, I believe they all said it was a white car and more or less agreed that it was a Cadillac. And there might have been a little bit of a variance between 2 and 4 occupants.
And what direction after the shooting does the vehicle head?
After the shooting, it would have turned south on Koval. That was at Flamingo and Koval, because the night group was heading eastbound on Flamingo, and the Cadillac would have originally been heading eastbound, but then it turned southbound on Koval.
Mm-hmm. And the nature of the bullet holes that are in the BMW that's located at Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard, all those bullets appear to be coming in from the passenger side of the BMW.
The impact strikes that I saw were all on the right rear passenger door.
You said that's his full name? See, I never knew his full name. I only knew him by Gaddafi. I ain't know nothing about no Yafafalo Falula.
The right front door, or the right front passenger door, I believe there was some sort of a mark or impact on the windshield. Those were the strikes that you could see. It was you couldn't tell if anything had been a stray of any kind.
So let me ask y'all something. Y'all don't think that Keefe was there that night? Y'all don't think that he was in the car? Y'all think that he know the persons who was in the car, but y'all don't think that he was there that night? Or what?
So at your scene, you have bullets being shot from south to north into the passenger side of Suge and Tupac's car, but you have no idea how many actual bullets are fired because you can only see the strikes which are in the car.
Correct. All I can see is what the actual impacts are. That doesn't mean that's how many shots were fired. That's just how many struck the vehicle.
And I think we have another witness who's going to testify to this later, but there are a number of casings, or cartridge cases, expended cartridge cases, that ultimately get collected from the southbound lanes of Flamingo right before Koval. Is that correct?
Yes, without seeing the report, I know that there were fired cartridge cases recovered from the street. I do recall that the number of fired cartridge cases recovered from the street did not match the number of impact strikes on the vehicle, which wouldn't have been surprising considering what traffic probably was on Flamingo on a Saturday night, and probably the delay of anybody.
Look at this fool over there recalling this shit with his muscle-bound head. That's why the front of your head look like it's an island. I can see the perimeter around it. Dead ass serious. Y'all can't tell me y'all don't see that brown mark around it. It look like Saturn. You seen the ring around the muscle head? Ring around the muscle head, head ass.
Buddy arriving there, at least from law enforcement.
What happens when, in your experience as a detective, there's a bunch of cartridge cases laying in a busy street and cars driving through? What can happen to those cartridge cases?
Well, especially prior to the uniform officers getting there, cars are driving over them. They're either getting caught within the tread of the tires, or they're getting thrown down the street, or thrown into a rain gutter, or
anything.
I mean, they could go a lot of different places. We've investigated numerous shootings within streets where you've had fired cartridge cases scattered all over the place. And you never know for sure if you've got all of them, because if something gets caught within a tread of a tire and it doesn't get ejected, unless someone tells you about it later or it gets ejected somewhere else, who knows where it ends up.
In addition to that, when you have your shooter inside a vehicle, are there times that you found casings have gone into the vehicle that the shooter's shooting from?
Yeah, that would depend on if the shots were fired with the handgun inside the window of the car, or if the handgun was outside of the window. Obviously, if the handgun is outside of the window, there's a higher probability. If it's a semi-automatic pistol, there's a higher probability that all those fired cartridge cases ended up outside. If the handgun is on the inside of the vehicle, you have a higher probability of some fired cartridge cases ended up staying inside the car. If it's a revolver, then everything is going to stay within the handgun.
That's why my daddy told me to always use a revolver if I was going to do some work. So you ain't got to worry about nothing to do.
Eventually, I'm kind of jumping forward here. Do you have those casings forensically tested?
The firearms examiner ends up testing them. I believe they were able to determine that they thought a Glock, it was going to be a .40 caliber. They were able to determine the caliber, and I believe, because I guess I'm not the expert, the firearms people are, but that a Glock has a particular marking that shows up, and I believe they determined that they thought it was a Glock that fired the weapon, that fired the cartridge cases.
So now you're looking for a white Cadillac occupied somewhere between 2 and 4 times, heading south on Koval, and a Glock 40 caliber firearm.
That was the information we had eventually at the time, yes.
After speaking to the witnesses, did you have any suspect information?
The only thing we had was 2 to 4 people, probably already all black males. The shooter, all we had was a black arm. There was a question of whether it was out the driver's door window or out the back window. There was a lot of questions, and this was strictly coming from the 4 gentlemen, Alexander, Greenidge, Cox, and Fula, from the car that was behind them. You got to realize, as I learned later, there was an entire convoy or entourage, whatever you want to call it, that had been behind them, and none of those people were around. Everybody had skedaddled before we got there, or at least by the time I got there. And so the only...
So basically, he said he arrived roughly around 1 o'clock, putting them probably like, about 45 minutes away from the shooting. What time was the actual shooting? You dig what I mean? Because, why are we even talking to Santa if he don't know, if he ain't gonna give us no more information? You dig what I mean? With a black arm like this, you ain't saying nothing.
The information we had was what General Assignment had acquired from, I believe, a couple of witnesses that they had talked to, and some of the people at the scene. I think Detective Franks talked to some girls later on that had been at the scene.
Now, during the course of this, you've mentioned Frank Alexander. Do you know what Frank Alexander's responsibility was that night in the car behind Suge and Tupac?
Frank Alexander said he was Tupac Shakur's bodyguard.
Ain't no way the fuck you are, Frank. Because you should have been in the car, Frankie. You feel me? Because, like, what in the fuck? Where was you at, Frank?
And Yafula Fula? I'm not even saying his name right either.
Fula and Greenidge and Qatari Cox were supposed to be part of the Outlaws. I guess it's like the group, I don't know if you call them the band, but the part of the group that performed with Tupac Shakur.
And those are the only four that stuck around by the time you got there and you were able to take statements from.
I believe they were the only four, plus I know there were a couple other guys that are mentioned in the report. I think Kevin Woods was one of them, and I think they must have got stopped by general assignment or somebody when Suge Knight had made the U-turn to flee or drive away and ended up at Harmon and the Boulevard. Everybody else was gone.
I want to fast forward a little bit. Did you learn of an incident that occurred at the MGM casino shortly after the Tyson-Seldon fight?
Kadada wasn't there that night. Kadada wasn't there. Kadada was still at the hotel. See, Pac had just left Kadada because she didn't want him to go. That's what we was talking about earlier. You know what I mean? And then he didn't even want her to go to 626. So that's why I'm saying I was goddamn crazy. I didn't understand that.
We eventually learned that. No one claimed that night, but yes, there was a videotape that came about and information about a fight that was caught on videotape where a person was kicked, beaten down by Suge Knight and a bunch of other people in that group. Tupac Shakur was in the group, and Frank Alexander was off in the side.
When you learned about that, did Metro initially know the identity of the victim of that beating?
The only thing we had, I believe, was the first name of Orlando. One of the officers that was at the fight that night, I think they were working off duty because we also saw some
Yeah, man, this don't seem right, bro.
video where they had talked to the person. He was wearing a football jersey, and I don't believe there was a written down ID where the ID was obtained, but the first name of Orlando was on there. That was all we had at that time.
Did you make efforts to talk to Suge Knight?
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be in Suge car. From my understanding, you know, things get all twisted up in the years, but from my understanding, he was supposed to be riding with somebody completely different, which included Frank. But at the last minute, from my understanding, Suge said that he wanted to holler at Tupac about some business. And that's the reason why him and Tupac supposedly had been in that car alone that night.
I know that night at the hospital, Detective Franks attempted to, he said. And then I know that...
Did you make efforts to talk to Suge Knight?
That's right, Lola? Okay.
I know that night at the hospital, Detective Franks attempted to, he said. And then I know that for 2 to 3 days after that, we attempted to, and finally were able to get him in and conduct an interview with him.
How did that come about? How does Suge Knight wind up at Metro?
Well, the first couple of attempts weren't very successful, put it this way. He didn't come in. In fact, I think the one time he was supposed to come in, he didn't show up. And then the night he did, I think it was 3 nights after, it would be in the report. When he did arrive, he showed up with David Kenner, David Chesnoff and George Kalisis, who are all three attorneys, who were his representatives, which we thought was weird because Suge Knight was a victim. And I think Reggie Wright Jr. might have been out in the lobby waiting. And then that's when we were finally able to conduct a taped interview of Suge Knight with his three attorneys present.
And what were your impressions from that interview?
Suge Knight was not the Suge Knight I expected. Everything, we had done a lot of research in the short time we had been involved, and Suge Knight was not a very timid person in the previous interviews we had seen of him. He was a very boisterous, in charge kind of guy. He was very timid, and to us, his interview was very practiced, and he was very timid, and I thought he lied to us. He just didn't know anything.
Your impression was he was withholding information about what happened.
He just basically said he didn't know anything. He couldn't recognize anybody.
A few days, or maybe a week even, does there come a point in time when you get contacted by law enforcement in Los Angeles area, whether it be LAPD, LASO, or Compton PD, that assists you in your investigation?
Tupac Shakur passed away on September 13th. We attended the autopsy, and we were later contacted. Well, I think there was probably some contact with other people within the homicide section. You got to realize there are people higher up than us, but eventually Tim Brennan from Compton PD, I think a Mike Coet, and Fontenot, something like that from Los Angeles County Sheriff's came down to exchange information, and that's when we showed them the videotape from the MGM.
And once you showed them the videotape from the MGM, were they able to identify for you, first of all, who Orlando was?
They immediately recognized Orlando Anderson. They told us that's Orlando Anderson.
And do they also identify some of the people that are with Suge that you didn't know might have been with Suge?
They recognized Suge Knight. I think they did by monikers, if I remember right. There might have been names. I think Buntry was in the picture, a guy named Buntry. There may have been some others that would have, again, it would be on the report because we did document all this.
Does Trayvon Lane sound familiar to you?
Yes, Trayvon Lane does sound familiar.
What about Neckbone?
I ain't gonna hold you. Santa Claus memory is elite. No bullshit. You know what's trippy to me though, because there's been so many alleged theories about the police being involved and Suge being involved and Puffy being involved. I mean, what's the probability, for real, of Orlando standing in the middle of the MGM that night by himself? Secondly, it's not like Tupac just seen him. Somebody tapped Tupac and was like, that's the person who such and such and such and such who snatched my chain. So it was kind of like a lot of people stirred. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's so hard to explain, and it's so many different scenarios that could have pointed to like what really happened that night, to where it's so trippy, bro. It's so trippy.
Ended up identifying a bunch of people because we ended up getting a substantial amount of information from them.
Does there come a point in time when they let you know that basically there's something happening in Compton that might be really indicative of who may have...
Oh, let me find out that the person who's representing Keefy D is a felon. Is that a tattoo on his hand like that? Yeah, this nigga here was in a pen. Yeah, I knew something was right. I knew Spiral Curls was into something. Hey, Keefy met this nigga in jail. Swear to God, this nigga here is involved. No. I need to find. We need to see what's going on.
Killed Tupac.
Well, we learned that they had a series of shootings occurring in Compton, and we're getting a lot of information from informants that was interesting to us. The problem was it was all from informants. We didn't have any actual people that would come forward and testify. So it was information we could use, but we didn't have any witnesses that would be willing to talk to us. It was all here's.
Somebody in Big Shar said, that's Charles Lee Ray. Nigga, let me tell you something, nigga. Cause and then with the gray suit on, it's like I can't unsee it. Cause this nigga had a gray suit on running through the store talking about Dembele. Hey man, somebody block this motherfucker right here, bro. I want a block.
Safe for us.
And before I get too far into the time you go to Compton the first time, were you able to identify that Suge Knight, Tupac Shakur, and their entourage was staying at the Luxor?
Well, yeah, we knew that after the beatdown at the MGM, they had all gone because the MGM security had videotaped or filmed the group going through the casino and exiting, and we got information that they went over to the Luxor where they had rooms because we observed or saw some videotape down in the valet area after they had changed clothes and were meeting down there for some vehicles where they had left to go to Suge Knight's house there in Las Vegas.
Judge, I have in my hand a certified record from Luxor of the reservations on page 124 I'd offer it.
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted.
So you mentioned something that I guess I should get to. Suge and Tupac's group leave the MGM, go to the Luxor, and then did you have law enforcement
You a wild boy.
outside, not for this purpose, but did you have law enforcement working security near Suge Knight's house here in Las Vegas?
We did not, Homicide did not. Apparently there was an off-duty assignment at Suge Knight's community. I guess it's a gated community is where his house was at. And they were working off duty because of whatever the event was.
And so, did you learn that after the Luxor they went over to Suge's house?
Yes, we learned that they went over there. There was, I think, a gate log or something, and we learned that several people had gone over there, gone inside, and we eventually acquired that gate log. And then sometime after they had arrived at the house there, they departed, and
That's when the incident occurs.
that's not long after that is when.
See, I didn't know that neither. See, I thought I was under the impression that fucking night they left the MGM. You know what I'm saying? They ran to motherfucking they went to Pac's hotel. We know that they went to Pac's hotel where Pac had to change. He went from the silky green to the jersey. You feel me? I didn't know that they went to Suge house before they headed to 626. That will also explain why Keefy D and them got discouraged waiting on them. Okay.
When the incident occurred.
All right, let me get back to Compton. At some point, you get told that the Compton Police Department is going to execute search warrants on all of the Mob Piru and Southside Crip residences that they could identify as part of their investigation into the ongoing war now that's happening between Mob Piru and the Southside Crips.
It was kind of twofold. We were told that they were serving search warrants on all these locations for these different groups or gangs, but that there was also at least one murder warrant for Orlando Anderson that they had there in Compton. So it was our understanding that they were going to be arresting him on an outstanding murder warrant there in Compton.
Were you present in Compton when those warrants were executed?
Mike Franks and I did travel down and were present to witness the search warrants being served by Compton and I believe the I don't know if the Los Angeles County Sheriffs participated, the actual deputies. I know that their jail facility people were there.
And you talked about this before. That warrant, had you seen a copy of the affidavit for that warrant?
Yeah, I saw one way back in '96, and I think I've seen one here recently that you showed me that kind of refreshed my memory.
And within that, all of the witnesses are identified as CRIs. Do you know what they were calling CRIs?
What I was told is that it was called a confidential, reliable informant. I don't recall any person being named as a testifying witness to anything. It was all based on confidential, reliable informants that the search warrant was being based on, which I guess in some cases that's not unusual. I know narcotics cases do that quite often, but eventually if you're going to successfully prosecute a case, you need to have somebody willing to testify.
So on October 2nd of 1996, were you present on Burris Ave when Orlando Anderson's residence was, when the police hit it and searched that residence?
I can't tell you if it was Burris Avenue. I remember being somewhere where Orlando Anderson was arrested, yes.
And during that, did you find out information as to where Orlando Anderson was staying when he was in Las Vegas?
Well, yeah, we kind of had an idea before that, but then when he was arrested, we kind of confirmed it that he had been staying at the Excalibur Hotel. We knew he'd been in Vegas because we had him on videotape, but yes.
Judge, I have in my hand state's proposed exhibit number 125, which is a certified copy of, or it's a certified record
Randy McKinney, be quiet.
of the Excalibur. I offer it at this time.
You want to make your approach?
Yes.
Yeah, you've been running your mouth, boy.
That will be a minute.
Okay, now I'm going to try my best here to share my screen with you and see if we can. I want to show you just one little portion of this particular record. All right, share screen. And I guess I should have it up. All right, here. Are you seeing my screen at all?
I see you. I don't see the document. Oh, wait a minute. It just flipped.
You see that document now?
Okay, yeah, I do see a document. It's Affidavit of custodian of records.
Okay, I'm going to roll down here to page 2,
Okay, it's a receipt from Excalibur.
and then I'm going to zoom in here, maybe. Oh, that's the search button. Is this going to let me zoom in here? There we go.
I see some writing down there. Yeah.
That's
Okay,
right.
it zoomed.
Yeah, I'm just going to get to that writing now that I've zoomed in.
Okay.
So on page
All right.
2 here, there's
I
some
see.
handwriting on there.
That's the Stardust and Monte Carlo.
You recognize that handwriting?
That's my handwriting.
So, how does that handwriting wind up on this record? What do you do?
Well, without seeing a report, I wrote it on there. There's no doubt that I wrote it on there. The question is why I wrote it on there. It's dated September 8th. Says they're local calls, and I put Stardust for one phone number, and then the Monte Carlo for the other phone number.
Does that suggest to you you're looking to see who Orlando Anderson was, what other hotels he was calling?
I'm wanting to see what the phone calls are, and the Stardust call is at 9:41. It should be if it's correct. 0941 is 9:41 a.m. and then Monte Carlo is at 0946, and then right after that is the Stardust again at 0947. Again.
Now, there's been some discussions, and I guess we'll get to that when we get a little bit farther, but why don't we address some of that now? Was there a problem at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department of information related to your investigation being leaked publicly?
Well, I became aware that there may have been some information being leaked. I couldn't say who specifically was doing it, but I was becoming concerned to the point that in our office we had
It was so many moles and so many people who was corrupt. You got to understand, this is LA. This is when Rodney King, this is when so much shit was going wrong, and it was such a corruption. And you think about it, we dealing with corruption now. But you figured 30 years, you know what I'm saying, ago, when they didn't want hip hop and us to be on the mainstream in the front, like this had to be crazy.
shelves not behind my desk, but there were some shelves where a lot of the case files were stored. And once this case continued, and the nature of who the victim was, especially when he passed away, there seemed to be a lot of interest in it, outside interest, especially with the media. And I became concerned about it, so I started locking my case files in my desk because I didn't want them to be available. Because I had left things on my desk, and a couple times I had found things different than when I left them, and it just bothered me. So that's why I locked them up.
Did there come a point in time when you started saving your reports to a different type of medium than just the computer?
Well, yes, there was some.
Damn, so Santa Claus was feeling the corruption back then. Hey man, y'all better protect Santa with all costs. He already withering away because he had that lettuce. You feel me? So we gotta protect them because for real, it seemed like Shawty, he knew that it was a mole. I'm telling you, man, the police had to be involved, y'all.
Some reports that I ended up not sending off to records because I was putting them on what we had then was called a floppy disk. I guess today they've got a lot different technology, but back then we had a thing called a floppy disk. Because we actually did some reports early on that I still don't know where they are. We did a pen register early on that I guess nobody can find. We went looking for a vehicle on another guy that nobody can find. There's just a lot of things that have disappeared. And some of them are reports that were before I even put them on floppy disk. So yes, I had some concerns.
So it's information that ain't never been recovered because he didn't even get a chance to transfer it before somebody had already took a file. Yeah, man. Come on, bro.
Were you aware that some Metro employees sold a Polaroid of Tupac on the autopsy table to the Daily Mail?
I was after we did the autopsy, I was outside the autopsy room. I cannot say that I saw a person take the Polaroid photo of Tupac Shakur's body. I saw somebody walk into the autopsy room.
That shit was on rotten.com. Did y'all see that? You know what I'm saying? Did y'all ever go on rotten.com? Because Tupac's autopsy was in there. OJ's wife was in there. You dig? I think John F. Kennedy autopsy was in there. That baby was in it. Like it was a whole bunch of people that was up in there. And I was like, what the fuck?
Room where his body was at with a Polaroid. And then I don't remember how long after that a book was published by a Kathy Scott that it was a Polaroid photo of his body. It wasn't one of our photos of his body from the autopsy. It was quite obvious this was.
So that mean that the medical examiner did it. The ME did it.
It was a Polaroid photo afterwards because it was not a full photograph that we took. We didn't take those kind of photographs at an autopsy. We had no reason to.
But needless to say, you yourself had concerns about the security of the information as it relates to the investigation.
Yes.
Now going back to exhibit number
For real, you can still see that shit? That shit crazy as hell.
125, it says on September 8th at 9:46 a.m. it appears the Monte Carlo was called, correct?
Correct.
And Judge, I have marked state's proposed exhibit number 126, which is a certified copy of a record from the Monte Carlo.
I was over here fucking bugging out for a second, but it just dawned on me. I forgot that they used to have the calls, the phones inside of the cars. Because I was about to say, what nigga called the car? But I forgot that that's how that shit used to be before the cell phones. You can call the car.
I'd offer.
Any objection?
If I can have a moment, please.
Yeah. Okay, there'll be a minute.
All right, Detective, I'm going to try and do this. Change the screen for you and now put 126 up on the screen. Ooh. Apparently screen sharing has stopped. Put it up first and then...
Nigga, is these pictures of him in the ambulance? Is this for real? Because they showing, because I know that after now that the trial is out, there's going to probably be certain photographs and shit that we going to be privy to that we never seen. But nigga, what the fuck is this? I never seen this man in the ambulance. Is this for real? Oh, no. I'm gonna have to do a motherfucking deep dive. Cause what the fuck is this? I ain't never seen this shit. Ever. Okay, let go.
Now I gotta go back to you and hit share. Can you see that now?
Now I do. There's a little delay, but it's a affidavit of custodian of records again.
Now this is the Monte Carlo, and I'm gonna jump down to the first page. There's a
Okay.
name, Corey Edwards, at
Corey Edwards.
1301 East Sloan.
Okay.
And it looks like he arrived and departed the Friday night before, the Friday the 6th into Saturday the 7th of September of 96. You see that on the right side?
I see that.
And I'm going to roll down here, a few pages in. Do you see? I can zoom in a little bit here for you.
No, I can see the writing. The Excalibur. Well, go back.
Yeah, I gotta go back.
It zoomed too much.
There you go.
Okay, it's Excalibur, Sahara, and Luxor. Though that's my handwriting.
And so, does that suggest to you that you took this record and checked to see
Where are those phone numbers?
the local
Yes.
phone numbers that are being called on it?
So that's at
I'm gonna roll
10:01.
down.
Yes. So the Excalibur was September 7th at 10:01 a.m. Sahara
10:32.
September 7th at 10:26, and Luxor was at September 7th at 10:32 a.m.
So hold on, time the fuck out. So who records is this? Because I know that Luxor, that's Suge, ain't it? That would be his address. Is this Keefe's? What the fuck is this, real quick? What is this paper again? The MF Delaney. What is this? What is this? Cause who was calling who?
Now, initially, did you have any idea who Corey Edwards was?
Okay, now we finna get to the meat of the potato. All right, they about to tell us.
I did not have Corey Edwards' name until Compton gave us that name.
So now you're in Compton. You've executed search warrants. You learn about the Excalibur. You learn about the Monte Carlo and Corey Edwards. I want to kind of fast forward now. Well, you mentioned something about a pen register. Does there come a point in time when you guys learn about an individual by the name of David Keith that might have worked at the MGM?
Yes, we learned about him. Well, it would have been related to the pen register because it goes back to, I want to say, Yafu Fula's description when I took his statement. He gave a description that I recall. He described the driver of the Cadillac having a bitch face. That's the term he used. And I may have misunderstood the terminology at the time. I might have thought bitch face meaning the younger looking face at the time, because there were some names coming up, and we had developed the name of Davion Brooks, who apparently was a Southside Compton Crip. And he was a fair-skinned black male, and I don't know, we thought
No, that nigga was saying that he looked like a girl.
he kind of was a bitch face. And he was the person that the pen register was related to in a place. It was south. I can't tell you the address right off the bat. It was south of Tropicana, between the Boulevard and Kowal. Because all we had, I think, was a cell phone or something, and we did the pen register, but David Keith's name came up somehow in that. as a worker in Las Vegas. And for some reason, I'm going off the top of my head without the reports. He had I thought a full-size Blazer, because I used to own a full-size Blazer, and there was an address in Las Vegas and I know we went out and checked that address, but it turned out nothing was there. We couldn't determine anything, but that's how that all came about, David Keith. And I know that we ended up, because we couldn't find Davion Brooks, at the time, I don't know what they got now, we had a thing called Scope, which the people would get their sheriff's cards or criminal history would go in there, and we could flag a person. So if they were stopped by officers or arrested, that we could be notified. And so we had flagged Davion Brooks, and I believe eventually we must have been down because I was out of town, but Mike Franks and Kevin Manning went and interviewed him.
So at this point, we have the names of Orlando Anderson, you have the name of Corey Edwards, you have the name of Davion Brooks, you have the name of Davion Keith. Kind of fast forward, but in November of 96, well, let me ask you this. Of all the people you interviewed in that car behind, was there anybody who said he thought he could make an identification?
Yafu Fula, from what I remember, thought he could ID someone possibly. I thought it was the driver, but I'd have to look at the report. He's the only person that thought they could possibly identify someone. I don't recall anybody saying they could ID the shooter. Frank Alexander, Malcolm Greenidge, and Katari Cox were more or less more of the dark arm kind of thing.
When in November of 96 in New Jersey, did something happen to Yafula?
Unfortunately, Yafu Fula was murdered. We were notified, I want to say it was Orange, New Jersey, somewhere in that area. We learned that Yafu Fula had been murdered. This was after we had made several attempts, because Death Row Records, David Kenner, who was the attorney, they had told us that if we needed to talk to any...
They might need to motherfucking put this man into witness protective custody, because the way that nigga, he have such a vivid recount of like what's going on and names and shit like that. I guarantee you, this nigga Keith, he probably did not think that somebody was gonna remember these type of aspects, because this shit's spot on, bro. It seemed like he remembered too much.
Anybody from the Outlaws or anybody that we needed to contact them to make arrangements.
That's why he over there looking like he smells something stank, because he like, what the fuck?
And somewhere in the reports that there's several attempts were made to try to get a hold of Yafu Fula, and we got the runaround on that.
I want to fast forward to March 9th of 1997. Did you become aware that another famous rapper by the name of Christopher Wallace, also known as Biggie Smalls, also known as Notorious B.I.G., was killed outside the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles?
Yes.
And LAPD was responsible for that investigation.
Correct.
At some point, do you have contact with Fred Miller, one of the lead detectives from LAPD?
Yes.
And then shortly thereafter, March 17th or so, did you attempt to contact, well, let me ask you this, did you contact Frank Alexander to do photo lineups?
Yes. Mike Franks and I went down and we met Frank Alexander. If that's what the report said, it was around March 17th down in Orange County somewhere, California. And I had taken probably, I think it was 10 photo lineups that we had prepared, because I had since the shooting and all, Frank had kind of turned around. I think he had gone cross with Death Row Records, and things turned around, and he was willing to meet with us, and that's when I showed him the photo lineups.
Judge, and I've talked to Mr. Stamp about not having to lay the foundation with each one of these with Mr. Stamp, but I have in my hand those 10 photo lineups, which are marked 76 through 85.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection to admission?
Yes.
All right, they'll be admitted then.
And I'm going to start with number 10, which is 85. Oops. I have to go in and out here a few times. But each of these photo lineups that you have done here, did you have a reason why you had these particular people in photo lineups?
Main players that were in these photo lineups were, well, obviously Orlando Anderson was in there because of the beatdown at the MGM. I mean, and because of the information we'd acquired.
I know that shit is pissing Keefe D off that Santa Claus keeps saying the beat down, because you could know, as you know what I'm saying, Keefe's still mad after like fucking 26 years about the beat down that his nephew goddamn took. And now his nephew is no longer here. So by this man keeps saying it, I know he wanted to jump across the motherfucking table on his ass so bad, but he can't even jump across the table because this nigga in a whole different state, right? He doing remote. He can't even do that.
Heard from Compton. Then the other people, I think Darnell Brim might have been in one of those because his name had come up. Dwayne Davis's name was in there. Terrence Brown.
Damn, this nigga memory
Smith.
is crazy.
There's another Davis. I think it's Dwayne Davis's brother, or he's related to him somehow. Is it Kevin Davis? I think.
Let me just share my screen and we'll go through each one by one, okay?
Yeah. I just remember there were 10 of them, and there was each person that was in the lineup. There was a reason for them being in there, just to cover our bases. We had particular people we were looking at, but we wanted to cover the basis of everybody that had come up.
So on these lineups, this is page 1, page 2, and then on the bottom, page 3 has the names of the people that are in each of those positions. Is that fair?
Those were the lineup records, yes.
And so it shows on March 17th of 1997, you would have created the photo lineup record that's your name down there.
Yes.
And this one, the suspect is number 6, Dwayne Davis.
Yeah, and I guess I probably spelled his name wrong.
And if we go to picture number 6,
that's Dwayne Davis. He's younger. I mean, obviously, it's been a long
30
time.
years ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Now, at this point in time, when you're showing these photo lineups, did you have a theory as to who was in this vehicle?
We had an idea from information. We didn't have anybody stepping forward to say anything in particular.
Okay. And who was it? Who did you think was in the car?
Well, the 4 names that we were leaning on was Dwayne Davis, Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson. Those were the names that we've been leaning on. But again, those are just the names we had.
Right. You had no live witness to tell you.
No.
You all had confidential, reliable, the CRI
we personally didn't even have that. I mean, I guess everybody else did, but we didn't have a name that would step forward to say anything. And I believe the CRIs were even throwing out Darnell Brim and other people.
I'm gonna kind of go through each one of these, but there's one I want to show you, and you've looked at these 10 photo lineups recently, right?
Correct.
And then there's another 6 photo lineups that you have where there's just a handwritten log that goes with them, right?
Yeah, and after looking at those, I'm wondering if those are photo lineups that I did later, because the 4 girls that I think Mike interviewed that night at the shooting scene, I had attempted to get in touch with them, and I think I talked to a couple of them, and 1 or 2 of them lived in the LA area, and either, I think it was LAPD, we had sent some lineups to them to look at. Those might have been the lineups we sent to them, actually, because it was, 97 or 98? And I think technology might have got a little better by then.
So let me click out here. Judge, I have in my hand the log of the 86, and then state proposed exhibits 87 through 91, which are the other 6 lineups.
Grandpa been eating garlic. Oh no, that's for your heart. We got his mind like that. That nigga been playing them games. You know what I'm saying? Because this man fucking memory is elite. You feel me? I know Keefy over there feeling crunchier than a Dorito, bro. Because this nigga shit is elite.
5 lineups, excuse me.
No objection. I'm sorry, Your Honor. No objection.
They'll be there.
So let me start with the log for you, and then we're going to go back to the other ones for just a minute, but let me pull up the log first. Oops. I'm sure there's more technologically advanced if you were younger. If I were younger, we could figure out how to do this easier, but...
You're doing better than me, so.
These are the logs. This is the logs you wrote for each one of those lineups, right? So you had Orlando Anderson in one, Darnell Brim in another, Roger.
Sure, these are probably notes that I wrote down because we were just trying to put something together to send off. Because I'm seeing, Roger Williams would have been, wasn't a Southside Crip, from what I remember. He was a mob guy or something. He was the opposite of everybody else.
Roger Williams, do you recall his nickname being Neckbone?
Yes, because I think we got to talk to him briefly down in Compton.
That sounds good.
The name Jerry Bonds was the name that...
Jerry Bonds was a name that came up very, very early on, and I think Compton had it, and as time went on, Jerry Bonds' name kind of was fading out.
Hell yeah, Jay Michelle. That nigga be like, man, my grandpa, man, that nigga investigated Tupac down.
I think he's a South Side Compton Crip, but as things went on, his name just started disappearing, even from the informants.
Oh.
And then the last one on there is Big Dre or DeAndre Smith.
DeAndre Smith, who is the guy that we think was in the back seat with Orlando Anderson.
Now I'm going to go to the DeAndre Smith photo lineup, and that's 91. And he'd be in position number 3, correct? Oh wait, you can't see it. I didn't share it with you yet.
Nothing's popped up yet, so.
Let me share it with you. But if your log has him in position number 3, that'd be him in number 3, correct?
Looking at it, yeah, that face kind of looks familiar. And that number 15 would be my writing. So this is one of the later photos.
You know, I feel like all these motherfuckers on this lineup shouldn't even been around Tupac. You know what I mean? Don't even smell Tupac. Look at this nigga. Number 2 look like half his jaw got ate off. You know what I'm saying? Number 3 look like he ate many Whoppers in his day. You dig? He just looked like you know, like he's almost a little zesty. And you around here murdering? It makes me disgusted. It make me so disgusted. And then this motherfucking nigga number 5, he look like Chris Humphries. And number 6, nigga look like Frankie Lyman. I'm disgusted.
Yes. And this is definitely one of the later photos. This is one we had early on.
So now I want to go to photo lineup that you wrote as number 1, which is States Exhibit number 76. Can't believe I have to stop the share every time, but I'm going to zoom in here on number 2 and then share it with you here.
Number 1 eat boogers. That nigga ate boogers his whole life. He still eat them.
Maybe. The person there in number 2, that appears to be DeAndre Smith, correct?
Yes. That's probably an early photo because what I'm looking at, I think.
That nigga look like the goddamn hamburger. He look like the Grimace. What's the purple shit? Is it the Grimace? He look like that motherfucker from McDonald's.
I think is probably, I don't know if those were California DMV photos or what, because from what I recall, we had to cut the pictures out because the backgrounds were all different colors, and we were trying not to make different colors on the photo lineup, so we didn't come into conflict down the road with anybody. I think Mr. Sanford would agree. If you have a yellow, red, blue, that causes issues. So that's why we did this. And this is all we had that was available at the time.
So I want to roll down.
Now we got technology to where all we got to do is take a picture and put erase background, and we get the image that he was trying so hard to make. Nigga cut this nigga half a shoulder off. You feel me? Look at this shit. But it's so crazy, bro.
Down here. The weird thing about this record is
Number 6 didn't have a name.
number 6 didn't have a name, but also number 2, even though it's a picture of DeAndre Smith, the record you have written is Andre Norton. Is that possibly an AKA for Mr. Smith?
Probably. We're talking what, 97? Yeah. Andre Norton. I'd have to look at his rap sheet. I don't know. But because there's no ID number over there, that's probably what it is. Because usually if there's an ID number, that's a Metro thing. And DeAndre Smith, whatever, wouldn't have had anything, because I don't think he had a history with Las Vegas.
Oops. Now, as I go through each of these photo lineups that you have,
Hold on one second, y'all. Give me 2 seconds real quick. I just need 2 seconds. Ooh. It's crazy as hell, the things that you know now. Because what the fuck?